So good morning, everyone. So we're going to present the Zero Carbon Execution Plan. And this is a 3-page document, and we've presented it as a series of building slides, which is obviously not necessarily how it'd be read, but this is a way of sharing it with you now. So the first thing is that we've signposted to the Church of England's route map to net zero. And we then define what the contents are. So 3-page document, this is the general guidance page, and there's the actual graphic, the zero carbon plan, and then a glossary on the 3rd page. We wanted to keep the glossary to just 1 page. It could easily have extended to 2 or more, but we wanted to make it accessible and not too overwhelming. So we then give there's a section on general guidance, and here we really want to make the point that this is a project management template. And it's a way of supporting schools starting to take action. So we also want to talk to schools in the sense that we understand that this could feel overwhelming, and we want to be very clear that it allows action to start now. It defines the different phases into which action falls, and it talks about the importance of gathering information and planning. So it's also clear that we can't create a plan that fits every single school scenario. So we're just being clear that it's a sort of indicative plan and it's not exhaustive. And obviously people will need to develop their own plans using this as a general guide. So we've got a how to use section with what we're suggesting 5 key steps of, first of all, reviewing the plan together with the glossary to make sure all the terms are fully understood. We then encourage people to familiarize themselves with the route map and any other resources, then connecting with diocesan environmental and building officers. We're then emphasizing the importance of getting the backing of the Board of Governors and obviously getting the Green Governor involved. And we then recommend starting through the initial steps and creating their own plan of action. So we've got a few sort of don't forgets. One is about the importance of involving the school community in planning and action. So that's about engagement, and that appears on the graphic. The importance of sharing knowledge and understanding. Yesterday, I heard somebody talk about how hard it was to install PV on a school, and that the senior leadership team and the premises manager had spent months and months of action, and they got it done over the summer, and it was on a hidden roof, and basically nobody knew about it, and there was no connection whatsoever to anybody about it, and they'd done such incredibly hard work, and Ashton were encouraging them to really try and share more about that. So that sometimes I mean, there could be so many lessons learned, so many ways of monitoring, checking, learning about the impact and engaging the children in that process. So here we've got a little icon for updating annually, and that appears on the graphic. And we just really want to emphasize the importance of making sure that plans are up to date and relevant. Okay, so moving on to the actual graphic. So we started, we've got a clear timeline from now until, or sort of 2023, so relevant for the beginning of next year until 2030. And then we've then divided it into a section for engagement at the bottom, action, and then evidence-based planning. We've got a key at the bottom for annual reviews, action milestones, decarbonisation milestones, and then we have some notes. And here we've talked about this aligning with language and documents currently used by schools. And because lots of the documents have different names, we decided to make this more generic rather than referring to very specific documents, also to try and keep the whole page as simple as possible. So here we have some the 4 key documents that and processes that we feel should be in place. So there's the net zero governance, there's this execution plan, the energy and building self-audit, and the buildings resilience plan. All of these terms, if anybody doesn't understand them, are in the glossary. So there's a direct link in case somebody wants to say, well, what exactly is that? We then want to emphasize the importance of that repeating year on year to 2030. So then these documents each link into becoming action ready. And there's a whole series of immediate actions that can be carried out. And we really want to emphasize the importance of that, and that you don't necessarily just need lots of big funding. There's a whole set of activities that can be done now, and immediate actions are in the glossary as well. We then talk about pre-retrofit works. So this is making sure that you are retrofit ready. And we then talk about bringing in a heat decarbonisation plan. And this of course feeds in from the energy and buildings self-audit. So information that's already been gathered can be fed into that. And then that can actually, the heat decarbonisation plan can then lead into immediate actions. And actually I was talking yesterday to the head of public sector procurement at Bayes and he was talking about how he would like heat decarbonisation plans to be a lot clearer about what actions come out of them, and also about them feeding in more directly to PSDS applications. And so the heat decarbonisation plans we're working on at the moment, we're dividing into short-term actions, so quick wins or immediate actions, medium-term actions, and long-term actions. And we're making sure that that also is able to feed into the PSDS process. Then obviously a heat decarbonisation plan can then feed into being retrofit ready and carrying out whole building retrofit works that may be in a series of phases over time. So we try to show that in this graphic. And then we need to start thinking about a net zero carbon action plan, which basically has all these documents nested within it. So obviously funding is critical, and that it's important to optimize all potential funding sources. And of course, this is a very changeable landscape. So that's a core element that is coming in parallel with immediate actions, as is installing smart meters and switching to a green energy tariff. So we do also think that monitoring is absolutely critical, and that could be monitoring at whatever level is possible. Simple spreadsheets and once a month meter readings, also tracking carbon dioxide monitors in classrooms, just sort of having a kind of behavioral practice of monitoring. There's energy sparks, there's live energy monitoring, there's sort of lots of different levels, but it can be done in any situation. And then sort of underlying all of this is the importance of whole community engagement with the school, local community, and diocese, wider diocesan family. So that's the kind of brief summary of the document. I hope that doesn't sound too complicated, and hope that kind of resonates with you. Obviously, we really want your feedback as well. Then just to share the glossary on the last page. Now, this is in two parts. There's the sort of glossary and further guidance, and then milestones. We just wanted to make sure that every word on the previous page is referenced into this document, so that there's an easy access into understanding the terms and how you might build up a plan. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing.